doing, that's going to make it happen, right? Hard work. We're not going to see the results immediately. But if we don't work, we're not going to see any results, right? So the idea is what are the skill sets that are required for defining, for example, here, machine layout is related to what? And how is that related with the other variables? And this is just an example. It doesn't mean to be right or wrong. So how do we compare? China, India, sorry, it's not Brazil. I had a slide with Brazil, but I overlooked at that. How do we look at that? How important is for the design of machine layout in China the consideration of power distance, uncertainty avoidance, and long-term orientation? So China is good in those things, right? The monumentalism, not good. Individualism, it doesn't really make much of a difference. So this is just a conceptual process, so to give you tools that can help you do that. All right? So that's part of our research right now. So I'm going to go very quickly. The objective for you guys, and I'm going to share with you the concept of my research, which is the objective behind Lean is to simplify a system, analyze a simplified system, design fundamentals of flow, focus on bottleneck process, and control flow. Inherently in that, we have to think about variation, disruptions, and improvement of the quality of life of people, right? The DRICE model is helping us to work with that part over there. Solving the problem is basically the implementation of Lean. But how do we make sure that our implementation sustains? We need to measure the reliability of the implementation. All right? One concept. Second concept, we need to understand the culture of where we are doing the implementation. And there are two types of culture. We have organizational culture, we have national culture. There are other definitions there that you will find, like work culture and, I don't know, you can even hear like pop culture and things like that. But we have to focus on both, organizational and national. The idea is to develop the organizational culture to such a level where national culture is no longer a factor. But we need to understand the elements of national culture so that we have the right focus for sustainability of our projects. Okay? So the research that we're working right now is looking at having the alignment between the customer well-being, employee well-being, and institutional well-being. If these three things happen, that means what we do is right and it's going to sustain. Okay? So at this moment, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to focus a comparison between operations in Brazil, China, and Mexico. Not China, United States and Mexico. All right? And we're working right now with Japanese International Transplantation. So the research sample is being worked at Denso. The proposal is at Denso. So that's what we're trying to do. Results are not ready yet. You're going to see these results probably in published probably in about a year or a little bit more, but results from these are expected to be here in like 3-4 months. So that's going to give you a little bit more of a tool to utilize when you're trying to implement Lean, but this is just to create the awareness for you guys. Okay? So any questions you have in this moment before we transfer to Professor Guilherme? Any questions? Nothing? All right. So here's the deal. You're working in your final project. You're going to go to the companies tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday, you're going to have the last lecture, and you're going to get Isaac Mitchell back here to tell you what are the things that you should say, what's the language you should speak for different contexts in regards to your projects. You have to have very clear metrics. You have to have a very clear understanding of your problematic situation and how you narrow down that problem. And then you have to have a very clear understanding on how you plan to approach it. you must include in that your plan for sustainability. Okay? How do you plan to make your project sustainable? And we told you two things you need to look at: the reliability, not reliability of the machines, the reliability of your design. Okay? What you covered this morning. And second, the cultural element. Okay? And you're gonna see with Professor Guilherme, how do you make change possible in a culture? So, if you want, we can give 5 minutes while we shift and prepare the presentation up here, but come back in 5 minutes. If punctuality is a value for you, 5 minutes. Friday's presentation. Alright, so nobody's sitting here, right? It's really remote. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, we're working with Professor George Muniz. You know, he's, yeah, he's editor-in-chief for production. He's in, no, so he's
我不想干什么，我什么都不想干，
that's
我只想死。
and we're putting this as a proposal where the status is.
You remember I want to send you on Excel slide? Luego hizo todas las clases y de ellos sacar la de
Okay.
just